All right, it's 6:32. It is July 19th. It is Wednesday. I hope everyone's feeling well. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to today's 632 Club. Hope everyone's feeling well. It is summertime. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself. Yeah, we've had a bull market going on here for multiple months. Some people are embracing it. Some people are doing great. Some are fighting it. Some are trying to be the smartest guy in the room. All we try and do is look for setups and enjoy ourselves and work on our process so we could execute with confidence. Let me say hello to some of my dogs around the world. Who do we got? We got Caracas in the house. We got Tel Aviv in the house. We have Nebraska. Go Tesla. We shall see. Tesla and Netflix is after the close. Both are trading at 2023 highs, so they're going to have to deliver. What up, It's in Connecticut. We should meet for some kind of drinks in the city. Actually, I'm going to be going to the city today. First, I have Fox Business at 3 o'clock, and then we're doing happy hour on Stone Street at 5 o'clock. So if you hear this and you're within an hour of the city and you want to come to Stone Street, I'll be there having cocktails, not iced coffee. You're welcome. What up, Philly? How you doing? I love a good cheesesteak. Probably one of my signature barbecue things is I like to take skirt steak, put real bread in the oven, put a little garlic, put a little mozzarella cheese, just have the wife saute onions, mushrooms, and peppers, and make a really good skirt steak sandwich. Better than the cheesesteaks in Philly that are like, steakums and whiz. Anyway, a little AC/DC in the morning gets you going. All right, so what's happening? So woke up this morning to see what's happening around the world. What time is Fox Biz? Today at 3:03. I'm actually getting a car to pick me up around 1:45. Going to take me and my intern Luke. Remember I introduced you guys, Luke? Luke, come over here. Say hello. Luke's been here now for a week. Get in there.
Hi, everyone.
Luke is off to UT next year. Isn't that nice to be going to college? Especially Texas. Good barbecue in Texas. You see those little videos, that are like a minute or 2 minutes long? So that's what he's been doing on the intern. He's been taking the 20-minute 630 Club, taking a little piece of each one from one of the setups and putting it out there individually. So what he's learning is how to look at the charts, do a little production, and get it out there and use social media. But anyway, he is putting in the hours, but he only goes to 11:30. Come on. It's an early morning internship. We are traders. We need to take in as much as we can in the morning, package it, get it out so it's actionable for everyone in the world, including me. There are days when I'm late and I come in because I'm traveling and I can't trade the way I trade when I'm sitting at my desk at 6 o'clock, putting in the time, looking around the world. So what's happening around the world now? The UK inflation numbers were under. It was an undershoot, so it's still supporting the fact that disinflation is happening around the world, which is what's controlling the narrative. And right now it's a tailwind. It's a bullish narrative. My macro guys are saying, though, that the disinflation narrative will switch at some point and then affect the third quarter earnings a little bit to the downside, but it's been a tailwind, for the last quarter or two. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. At this point, you look here at the chart of the SPYs. To me, this is when the bull market really started. March 29th was when the SPYs triggered above this big consolidation, and we've been pretty much trending above the 8 and 21 day all the way to the highs. Think about this. The SPYs haven't really been below the 21 day, except for actually hasn't been below the 50 days since April, and then hasn't been below the 21 days since May 26th, June 26th. It's almost so multiple months. That's why I have all those those videos that I do about the 8 and 21 day rule, saying instead of having an opinion of what you think the market should be doing, you're following the actual trend, and the trend in the SPY has been strong. The trend in the Qs have been even stronger. We've been getting these little sell imbalances in the morning because of the rebalance on the 24th. But bottom line is tech is not falling apart. Even though the overall market is broadening, which is good, giving us other things to play, tech still made a new 2023 high based on the fact that, yesterday, Microsoft ignited when, news came out around 11:30-ish that they were going to raise the prices on their AI, whatever their AI is, and it just shows that's demand. And you raise prices, it's good for margins, and boom. If you were at your seat, you made good money buying Microsoft, and that's when tech had a big move. And anyone who's been shorting it, is still hating the world. I listened to this guy in the sauna today. was actually a cool little YouTube that someone sent me about, just, it's like I listened to this motivational stuff, and it was really close. And like, he was a motivational speaker for the Cleveland Browns, and he would go there and he'd say to the players, he's like, you can't control the ref's calls. You can control the way you play. You can't control the coach. You can control the way you play. You can't control your teammates. You can control the way you play. You can't control the weather. You can control the way you play. And I was thinking of that, I'm like, wow, it's the same thing with trading. You can't control the market. You can control the way you trade it. If the stock is going up and you're like, I hate this stock, it's going up. You hate it because you're not trading it well. Or if you're in a bear market, I hate this market because you're approaching it wrong. You're not controlling the way you trade the right way. So bottom line is, you can't control your environment. You can only control the keyboard and how you approach it. So anyway, that's the cues. IWM is getting closer to my target. If you remember, I've shown you this a bunch of times in the last 2 weeks on how on the weekly chart, looks like we're headed towards 196, 199 when we got above 189. And here we are. And that's only the top end of this channel. Imagine all of a sudden we have this channel and then we break to the upside of this channel. Then these bears are really going to be toasted. But anyway, really nice move for some of you guys who are in the IWM. The banks have been a little bit better. JP Morgan's been best in breed. If you remember, we played JP Morgan when I was leaving for July 4th. I had like lotto calls on, bought it in here, and then we had a big move, and those calls were awesome. They sold down earnings a little bit just because it was extended, and then it made a new 2023 high. So yesterday I did tweet that I think, it's not a barn burner, but I'm in a pretty nice size of Bank of America. Why Bank of America? Just because it looks like it can get to the 200-day or more. It is a laggard, and I'm not saying it's going to be a barn-burning trade, but I do have Bank of America, and I would think it at least sees the 200-day. The February high for Bank of America is 37, right? So look where JP Morgan is. JP Morgan, this is where the February high was. It's well through the February high. So I'm thinking, Bank of America, I'm not saying it's going to get back to the February high, but why can't it at least get to this zone? So that's why I tweeted yesterday. I was like, oh, it's a laggard. It's true, it's a laggard, but it's just part of my portfolio approach that I think we could manage. It can't just be in Tesla and just in Amazon and just in Netflix. I've tried to be in Oxy. I've tried to rotate like everybody else. Oh, someone said, why did I buy Lyft? Look at the chart pattern of Lyft here. Okay, Lyft is a laggard also. Okay, but to me, you have this like kind of inverted head and shoulders pattern with a bull flag above and a gap here. So if this can get above 12 bucks, I do think there's a trade here. Most in the community did very well with Uber. Uber, look at this. Look at this move in Uber. Some people like Red Dog, how does an active sequence start to the upside? Well, sometimes it starts with gaps. And I actually did a big, whatever it's called, a YouTube video on gaps, pro gaps, earnings gaps. And look at this gap up right here that never even got tested. And then that created another bullish move, an active sequence to the upside. Look at the size of this move in Uber. It was much better to be in the leader, which has been Uber. So, look how extended it is. So that's why I said, hey, maybe there's another little catch-up trade here in Lyft. You go to the weekly chart. I haven't looked at the weekly chart in forever. And oh my God, look how battered and bruised this has been. So it's kind of just curling up. Anyway, that's that. Some people asked me to update some of the other situations. Yes, I still like RBLX. This too isn't a leader. This is just a catch-up play. It's just, the market likes these type of stocks right now. It's working its way higher. It's not a barn-burning move, but again, it hit a high of 45.81. I was accumulating in here. I'm still in all those options. I do think it could see 48 or higher. Unity Software also, another one that I think has been awesome. Okay, not leading, but I started buying it in here, and it's trending higher. Okay, really big trade for options and decent for the stock, and it seems like if we can get above and stay above 48.10, it can continue. Those are just things that Luke has pieced off of the 630 Club, so some people ask me about it. As far as Tesla's concerned, it's been awesome. This has been, my bread and butter pretty much since here. Okay, since May 17th, when this bar ate into this red candle, it means a lot actually. You had a move from literally 170 to 276. Look at how it was above the 8-day that entire time. The entire time from here, it was above the 8-day all the way into, this little red dog reversal sell. Okay, and then right here it kind of repaired again, got back involved. Again, gave you another new high, and then this is when we got back involved in the stock again, and now we're going into earnings. Besides being in the stock, I probably had 4 different call spreads the whole way up that worked out very well. So now the question is, what was this high here? 295, 295.26. The question is, will it be enough to get one more move post earnings tonight? At this point, remember I said I bought a call spread. I bought the 295s by 310s. I bought the front side of the call spread when the stock was like 270 last week, and then I sold it the top side, for the same price. Well, I took that off. I'm like, you know what? I just made 100% on that call spread. I'm going to put a little bit more of a lotto spread on. What's a lotto spread? Something that usually doesn't happen, but at least it's something I wouldn't want to miss. Like right now, so if Tesla, the margins right now, everyone's looking at the margins for Tesla, trying to think if the lower prices, what did that do to their margins? So if their margins are still above 18% or so, I'm kind of thinking, you can get a move to at least this 309 to 315 area. So what did I do? I bought a 310 by 322 call spread just because I figured, why not? If you look at the weekly chart, this is that area, and then there is if it really wants to squeeze, it could see this 330-ish spot, okay, which is right around here. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, instead of putting on like a realistic spread, because if all of a sudden if it underwhelms, stock's going to be down 20 bucks and that spread's gone anyway, So I figured, hey, you could buy the 310s by 322s. The cost was $2 to make 10. So, if you buy 10 of them, it costs you $2,000 to make 10 grand. If you buy 100 of them, it costs you 20 grand to make, it's all how many do you do? So that's what I'm doing for Tesla. I'm probably not going to be in my seat when Tesla comes out because I'm going to be in, Fox Business at 3 o'clock, and then I'm going to go to the New York City office. Actually, I'll probably be, in my seat over there, and then we'll be at happy hour on Stone Street. So anyway, it's going to have to get above and stay above this to see this area, and maybe there's an overshoot. Funny thing is, I posted, someone did, would not be surprised to see Tesla close at 300 before earnings. All right, that wouldn't be so bad. You'll figure that too. I'm actually long a little Tesla, from shares, but I'm not taking shares into earnings. Right now it's down 38 cents. Not a big deal. So there's been different parts of this rally that I've been, in different places. I was in Meta for the beginning side of this rally, and then I kind of lost sight of it. It still looks great. It's been above the 8-day this entire time. I think my biggest trade for this one was right around here, and then when it took out this area into that area. Like, you could take out pieces and chunks of an active sequence, and then if you think you just don't want to go back to it, that's okay. So I basically, I was in Netflix for a big part of the active sequence, Meta a big part of it, and then there were times when I was focusing on Microsoft or Amazon and Netflix and Google for catch up. Recently, I got back involved in Apple, thinking that at some point, Apple is going to get above and stay above this 194.40 area for one more move towards 200. I think I got the big part of the trade was when it held the pro earnings gap, into the event day. Remember the event day, we had to get out because of this loose wide action, but then it rebuilt again. So there's been different things at different times. Like, look at Microsoft. Microsoft, came back, held 327, kissed 351 twice, and then busted through it on that news, and now it's up a little bit. I actually, it's funny. Like, you look back on how you handled situations, and all you can do is look back and learn. Look and learn. I was actually at my desk yesterday when the news came out. I think I made $3-4 in it, and you could have made 10. I just wasn't in the mood. I was actually packing up to go and do my workout because I'm here at 6. By 11:30, I'm kind of jelly already, and I can't really think anymore. I put my stops in, and then I go and do an hour workout so then I could do the rest of the day. So I wasn't in the right mode to take advantage of Microsoft. So anyway, AMD potential move. AMD hasn't been acting well at all. To be honest, it's been very loose. It's been very wide. AMD, what's it called? Ever since this double top right here, it was in a corrective mode. It's trying to hang in here. what I did is I bought some calls. Yesterday when it was weak, when it was like 115-ish, I bought the 120 calls. I actually got a sheet of the rebalance, and it shows that AMD isn't a sell on the rebalance, it's an actual buy. So I'm like, you know what? The stock's a little erratic lately. So when the stock's erratic, but I don't want to miss a potential move, I'll buy options so this way I don't overtrade it. So there is a chance that this can get going again to the upside, but it hasn't been NVIDIA. NVIDIA has been tremendous. NVIDIA is like the stock that just keeps, the gift that keeps giving. I also trade this when I feel like it's perfect, because it takes a lot of energy to trade NVIDIA. I was a buyer on this candle as it took out 432. And to be honest, I sold it into this candle. I made like $15. I'm like, all right, that's good for NVIDIA, because if I'm in 15, 20, 10, 12 things, it just takes too much energy to trade it. But anyway, then you had that loose white action, and now it looks like if it wants to get above and stay above this 480, it can continue. What's NVIDIA doing this morning? NVIDIA is up $1. So that's your new pivot. A little bit more inside action. NVIDIA would be great to then take out 481 for an additional move. Guys have built wealth as an investor in NVIDIA. Traders have built their months and quarters following it to show you how risk is being embraced and also trading it. NVIDIA has been the leader of this tech move, for multiple months. You can even look back at the weekly chart. It showed you how it led on the way down, and it's been leading on the way up. Traders look for things to look at that lead the tape versus listening to the bears or the Mike Wilsons of the world, or the analysts, or the billionaires who say, oh, the market's too risky for you, but I'm fully invested. Anyway, so many different ways to approach the market. So with that said, SPYs are up 18 cents. The oscillators plus 40. We're definitely a little overbought. Some of my fundamental guys that I read say that 45.50 in the S&P cash is really like a fundamental ceiling. We'll see if we get a little bit of an overthrow based on how the market reacts to the next week or two of earnings. We have all the majors coming out, starting with Netflix and Tesla. Tonight, we'll see the response to them. They've had big runs, so is it priced in, or is there one more move? That'll set the tone probably for the rest of this week. And then next week, you have Meta, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. It's a whole ton of them. So anyway, each day know what you own and why, because you could definitely be pushed around, and one stock's earnings could affect another's movement. Please comment on how the rebounds Friday. At this point, every day since that news about the rebounds came out, there's been some kind of sell program between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, because I've been caught in it a few times, and I just took a breath and had a little lesson. It was buyable. We don't know how much of that rebalance is taking place prior to the 24th. So if you're trying to position short because you think there's going to be a huge down move on the 24th because they have to sell tech, they might be doing it leading up to it. There are a lot of times that traders used to trade the rebalances. They'd be, oh, Apple's got 14 million shares for sale, and meanwhile, they did it 2 days prior, and then all of a sudden there was no sell imbalance, and they got caught short and got their clock cleaned. So we don't know how much of it is, So it's hard. Politics here, wow. The guys in the Alpha team are killing it with this. I was looking long when it got through 10:30, and I think I played it here with big options all the way into this move, and thought, I was like, wow, look at that. I just made 25% in Palantir, and I got away from it, and look what happened next. Big move. So it's been awesome. I wouldn't chase it now, but there are active sequences that start, and if you recognize that and you stay with it, it could make your month, your quarter, your year. A lot of people's year has been made with AI, right? I started with this at 14. It went up 100% to 30. Some people thought it was over. It wasn't. Had another move, went to a higher high, and then Hindenburg or whatever came out, and then they refuted it. And right here started another one all the way up to 48. Now the question is, will it hold here, take this out, and make another higher high? So those traders that started to trade and embrace and watch the action and learn how it moves, all of a sudden can make this their year in this one stock, and then all the other ones around it. So anyway, new stocks do come onto the go-to list, and this is one of them. And just like this Unity has been one of them. I never traded the stock, but I started trading it here, and I'm watching it, learning how it moves, and buying dips and playing breakouts and using options. And all of a sudden, if this stock goes to 55 to 88, which it could, which would only be right here, this thing was 196, was 86. I'm going to be there with it in some capacity, whereas last year wasn't near the go-to list. So that's why some people are like, how do you redo your go-to list? It all depends on new leadership, new things that pop up, and that's why my 40 stocks, usually 20 of them stay the same and 20 of them change every quarter, every year, all depending on the action. Remember, you can't control the markets or your environment. You can control how you approach it and your mindset. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you.